Hey everybody, it is Addison, and earlier I tried to do this same live, and then when I went to go watch the replay, I was a vampire, and it was kind of cool. I really actually liked the vampire better. However, it had this noise in the background, and so you couldn't hear me talking. And who wants to do a live if you can't listen to me talk? I can't do an Addison Unleashed if I can't share. So I decided to do this Medusa thing instead. So we're going to try this and see if this works better. But the topic for today, because it is Halloween after all, is recognizing your darkness in relationship. And so what do I mean by your darkness in relationship? Really it is talking about all of our different parts, kind of like Medusa, all like the little snakes. We all have different pieces of us, and some of these pieces we would say are our darkness, and we say it's because it's our darkness because basically it's just parts of us that we don't necessarily love, that people around us might give us feedback that they don't necessarily love about us. And then we have these pieces of us that have worked throughout our lives, and so we oftentimes see these pieces as like more positive, so our light. But the fact is we all have dark and light within us, and really it is just contrast. I don't even like to call it dark and light. I do, but it's more contrast, and it is looking at all the different pieces of our personality. And it's not just looking at the different pieces of our personality, because that's one thing, but it is then when we get into a relationship, those pieces of our personality will step in, and you just don't know unless you've really done your work and you're watching your ego, because there is dark ego as much as there is light ego. People a lot of times will think, oh, like severe humility just means I'm not in ego. No, actually, that can be ego just as much as, yelling at somebody in pride and all of that. It is just a different kind of side of the ego coin. But once we step into a relationship with somebody, then they have all of these different sides to them. They have all this darkness. They have all this lightness too, these beautiful pieces, these truly spiritual, connective pieces. And it all comes together and it makes a big mush. Yeah, I got rid of my snakes there for a minute. It becomes a big mush pile. And what ends up happening is that things might be going along wonderfully, and then all of a sudden one of the snakes pops out, and somebody ends up triggering another person. Somebody does something, it pokes at a wound, it kind of conflicts with the thought process. And what ends up happening is if we're not careful, we step into our egos. We step into this darkness, and we end up attacking, and we end up kind of going, even if it's just in our heads, into these negative places, instead of recognizing that they have their stuff, you have your stuff, and true relationship is working through that stuff. Both the beautiful, because the truth is that, and I hope for you, that if you're in a relationship with somebody, you do see their light. You see the beauty in them. But in order to truly love somebody, you have to see their darkness and accept that too. That's not saying that you need to allow them to harm you. That's not to say that you need to kind of compromise your well-being. However, it just means that if you're truly saying that you love somebody, that you're willing to see all sides of them. And as a human being, recognizing and doing your work first, doing all of your work first to recognize your ego, to recognize kind of where you tend to fall down. Because if we ignore it, then the fact is we will probably step deeper and deeper into that darkness, into the parts of us that we don't necessarily like, and and into more conflict in relationship. However, if we recognize it and we can see it and we can truly do our own work, then this darkness becomes cool. Like we can, it is part of us. We accept it, and it's less likely to attack others, and vice versa. You're able to deal with others' darkness a little bit better as well. I love when couples come to me for advice and they're like, we never fight. And I'm like, well, that's a problem. If you're not fighting, and I don't even mean fighting, but if you're not arguing, if you've never had a disagreement, then the fact is you can't love that person because you haven't seen all of them. So on this fun Halloween, I thought I would just kind of bring that to you guys, and knowing that you have to do your own work. I love when I get a new consult and they don't understand why they need to do their work as when it comes to their sex. They want techniques, they want tips, they want tricks. But the fact is you have to do your personal work. If you're not doing your personal work, and looking within and getting kind of help with what others are also seeing, then the fact is you're never truly going to have a good look at yourself. So I suggest, not tonight, because tonight should be just fun on Halloween, but I do suggest you go and do some journaling, get a coach, find your way to kind of look at all the aspects of you. So I hope, again, you have an amazing Halloween, that you go and you just enjoy yourself in whatever way that you choose to enjoy yourself on Halloween. I'm wishing you all love, light, and blessings, even though I'm dressed up like this today. And I will see you guys tomorrow for another Addison Unleashed. Have a great night. Bye, everybody.